The Punta Gorda Library is here celebrating International Literacy Day with a man of the soil, Dr. Ludwig Palacio. Dr. Palacio, kindly tell us a little bit about yourself.
By profession, I'm a veterinarian. I have my clinic here in Punta Gorda. Been giving service since 1989, thereabouts. I'm also an artist, and with my family, we operate the We Art Gallery Museum. I'm also an author, poet, novel, prose, and I will share some of my work here with you this afternoon. This is called Let Us Embrace Belize, which was written in 1998 in a book entitled Sugar Rosy. Sugar cane is sweet, so Rosy is bitter, and hence the name Sugar Rosy, which means bittersweet.
Open your eyes to the early sunlight. Hear birds singing melodiously. Look at the waters, calm, serene. Feel the cool breeze peacefully massaging our senses. See the different peoples, though diverse, one beautiful, colorful, unified Belizeans. Observe the youths, hard at work, joyously. Listen to the old as they share their precious gem, wisdom. Eat rice and beans, hudut, escabeche, kuhun cabbage, spicy caldo, and relleno, all made by Belizean hands. Wonderful keys bless our seas, giving Belize its own unique form. Belize is small but strong, ready to share and to trade, never for sale, firm but fair. So let us all embrace Belize.
I am sure that a lot of people have the idea of writing a story, but they don't know where to start. What advice would you give to young people, especially, to start to write their own stories?
The first thing I would encourage them is to be bold and do not be deterred by anybody. Whatever feeling, whatever ideas they have, let them bring it out on paper. And if anybody wants to assist them in that regard, it behooves them to do that. So if a person is writing, don't try to limit a young person, especially in any way, shape, or form. There are many people who have been destroyed by the system, destroyed by their teachers, and have gone to their graves without leaving a legacy behind. So we have quite a bit of talent in the graveyard. Let us not do that. Let us encourage our people to bring out what they have inside in any form, not only in writing. Dancing equally important, poetry, any form of expression, painting, sculpting. A sculpture to me is as good as a library. It has a theme. It has almost all the elements of literature embodied in a simple monument. Let's not take these things for granted, because we have a solid physical form that constantly reminds us of something particular. Okay, the backstory to this poem entitled I Am Rich is I was in Barranco. My roots, actually, on my father's side, all go back to Barranco. My grandparents lived in Barranco, and I also have fond memories of that beautiful village. But as a working professional, I was pondering this whole idea of what makes us rich. And this poem came to me as I sat on the beach under a tree. And here goes the poem, which has now transcended the confines of Barranco, became pretty much a national poem, used quite a bit during Festival of Arts, but also for Peace Corps training and for JICA. So many foreigners also are familiar with this poem. It's really short and sweet. It goes like this. I am rich with vegetation, sunshine, trees, birds, caves, waterfalls, and mountains. I am rich. I have Creole, Garifuna, Maya, Mestizo, East Indian, Mennonite, Chinese. I am rich. I have a cool house from green forests. I have fresh fruits, ground food and vegetables, fish from the sea, and good friends for everlasting. I am rich, my dear, for I am Belizean. Thank you.
So there we have it, a few of Dr. Palacio's work. But Dr. Palacio, what encouraged you to become an author?
I think what really motivated me was some years after I had finished university and looking back at my high school years, I realized that there are strong forces that could impede you from excelling and expressing yourself. I was told in first form that I would never learn to read and write by a very influential person, the priests back in those days, who were very, very powerful. And whatever they would say, people believed it and it became gospel. I had a very strong mother who disagreed with the priests and encouraged me to keep going. To cut a long story short, I began putting my ideas and my feelings on paper. I write with my heart, really and truly. What comes out from me is strictly from the heart. And I guess that's what makes what I write so unique. And then after that, people began to read what I had written and express what I would call very, very high reviews for what they had read. So I became more and more encouraged to continue along that path. And as I matured, I realized that it's a legacy that is very important, because oftentimes we read things that are not necessarily favorable to our own development, to our own growth. And I figured that one of the best ways to have a generation of lectors, of readers, of analysts, is to write our own stories. Not necessarily what is written about us, but in this case, we become the actors and the decision makers in our stories as they evolve. So the legacy that will be left behind is not written by the oppressor, not written by the colonial masters, but written by a person that belonged to a particular group of Belizeans. Of course, my Garifuna roots being a part of it, but more so an integrated national spirit will be left as a legacy after I'm gone. So I think that's a good place to be.